The Annual Migration of Clouds is a cli-fi post-apocalyptic novella by author Premi Mohammed. It takes place in the distant future, after the climate crisis has entirely disrupted life as we know it, and a mysterious, mind-controlling fungus has wormed its way through the scattered population. The story focuses on a choice. Reed, a young woman who carries this parasite, has been given a chance to move far away, to study in one of the few communities sustained by pre-disaster technology. But her mother is ill, and in a world where the planting season is planned down to the minute, everybody counts. It's not easy for her to leave her loved ones behind. To set her family up for life, Reed decides to take part in a foolhardy and dangerous mission. To accomplish this task, she must ask others to put great trust in her, but she can't easily separate her own thoughts from the parasite's will, making it difficult for her to even trust herself. If you're not yet familiar with Premi Mohammed, you're sure to hear of her soon. She's an Indo-Caribbean scientist and author based in Edmonton, Alberta, where this book is set, and a rising star in speculative fiction. Premi is a biologist and works in the field of climate science, so the depiction of Reed's parasitic passengers is eerily plausible, and the climate disaster scenarios in the book are grounded in modern-day research predicting an all-too-likely future. Yet there's still hope to be found here. Rather than doubling down on the hardships of life after technology, as so many gritty apocalyptic novels do, this book's focus is on connection and friendship, the things that bind us together. It shows the world moving forward after terrible hardships, including natural disaster and plague, and reflects upon the importance of community, our duty to take care of one another, and our collective ability to get through difficult times. In other words, it is exactly the sort of book we need right now. This is Cast of Wonders, the young adult fiction podcast featuring stories of the fantastic. Welcome. Episode 473. I'm Catherine Inskip, your editor and host. Our story for today is If Trans Then Mogrify by Hailey Piper, a Cast of Wonders original. Hailey Piper is the author of Unfortunate Elements of My Anatomy, The Worm and His Kings, Queen of Teeth, and other works of horror and dark fiction. Her over 60 short stories appear in Baffling Magazine, Daily Science Fiction, Flash Fiction Online, The Arcanist, Dark Matter Magazine, and many other publications. A trans woman hailing from the haunted woods of New York, she now lives with her wife in Maryland. Find her at www.haileypiper.com or on Twitter via Hailey Piper Says. This story is narrated by Julia Hawkes-Reed. Julia Hawkes-Reed is a Unix hacker by day, by night too if it's been one of those sorts of weeks. Her origin story involves finding the Big Yellow Galanx hardbacks in Winchcombe Public Library, the Making a Transistor Radio Ladybird book, and the John Peel programme. The 2006 Viable Paradise Writers' Workshop was something of a life-changing experience, and she has been quietly emitting stories of varying lengths since then. One of those stories can be found in the anthology Airship Shape and Bristol Fashion 2. She is fascinated by Cold War architecture, islands and stationary engines. Julia does not own enough synths or tractors. And now we've a tale to tell. One content warning, this story features transphobia and is centred on themes of encountering transphobic attitudes in public spaces.
If Trans Then Mogrify by Hailey Piper. Narrated by Julia Hawkes-Reed. Rosalind almost has the ladies' room to herself when an intrusive hand jams the stall's doorway, nails painted a dull red. The diner's restroom has 3 stalls, the other 2 being empty, and Rosalind hadn't heard this stranger try either neighbouring door. "Privacy, please," she says. But the insistent hand shoves the stall open anyway. A scowling middle-aged woman in blue jeans and a pale yellow coat fills the doorway, someone Rosalind doesn't know, and yet the look on this stranger's face and the words out of her mouth have reared their ugliness more than once before. "Excuse me, but I think you meant to go across the hall," the woman says. She points at the ladies' room door. "You know, the other restroom?" Rosalind stands exposed. She just wants to go real quick before her food arrives at her booth, where her date is waiting. Now, there's a restroom, Inspector. Her first instinct would be to hide in another stall, but the intruder's trouble isn't which stall Rosalind has chosen. Rosalind knows the type. She tries to put on a braver face as any teenager can. "And whose business is it?" she asks. "I'm Kerry, if that's what you're asking," the woman says. "I'm making it my business. You don't belong here. You've got a—" Kerry's gaze flicks towards Rosalind's waist. Rosalind doesn't need to glance at her floral platen skirt to get the meaning. Before the interruption, she was about to sit down as she shut the door, so obviously some tucked things have come untucked beneath the fabric. What does Kerry want to hear? Rosalind's too mortified to move her lips, frozen in disbelief that this is happening to her yet again. Kerry begins what she must believe to be an insightful anatomy lesson. "It's a man's equipment," she says. "Why bring it here?" As if Rosalind could have left it in her purse at the diner booth with her date. She's too tongue-tied to say that either. After the last 2 times this happened, in 2 different restrooms, she came up with sharp quips in case there would come an encounter number 3. Now the 3rd encounter is here, but she finds her tongue dull and soft. She manages only a meek reply. "I have the ladies' model." Kerry grinds her heel into the tile floor and puffs up her shoulders. "That's not how words work," she snaps. "You don't belong in here, but you expect me and everyone else to let you upend the universe and turn the world upside down. When pigs fly, when hell freezes over. Do those phrases ring any bells?" Rosalind shudders deeper into the stall. At her first encounter, she did as she was told and headed for the men's room, tears spilling down her cheeks. At the second encounter, she was on her way home anyway and held on until she reached her safe place. But she has a date tonight, and this is encounter number 3. If she retreats a 3rd time, what does that make her? Surely the great council of the trans agenda that Kerry probably believes in will revoke Rosalind's status. "Girls have one thing and boys the other," Kerry goes on, and she points to the door again. "If you have the man's thing, then you belong across the hall." Kerry's wording slides Rosalind's memory away from past encounters and back to that one elective from junior year, when she tried to learn basic computing. "That's an if-then clause," she says in her customer service tone, almost disconnected from this moment. "Would you like me to program?" Kerry raises an eyebrow. "An if what?" Rosalind's fingers prod the air as if typing across an invisible keyboard. Encounter number 3. It feels like that should matter. The start of something odd yet believable, like finding pumpkin spiced tea in February, or getting a text from a faraway friend the moment you thought about how much you missed them, or learning that your celebrity crush has a compatible zodiac sign. There is magic in the number 3. A bell chimes and the world's program runs new code. If Rosalind, then. Upend universe. Defining upend. Processing. That's a fair conclusion, right? Rosalind is a lady and belongs in the ladies' room. Kerry says that Rosalind's parts belong in the other restroom. Those realities can't coexist. If, then, Rosalind says. If what's between my legs doesn't suit the room, and yet I belong here, then that must upend the universe. Sounds like we have a big problem. Damn right we have a problem, Kerry says. I've been patient and polite with you, but I'll call the manager. Just you watch. Her eyes glisten with crocodile tears, and a smirk hides beneath her wavering tone. Kerry has had her way plenty of times in the past by playing the victim. If I belong here, any silly thing would be possible, right? Rosalind whispers to herself, still typing on the keyboard that isn't there. Or is it? Kerry hears the whisper over the not typing. Nothing would make sense anymore if you belonged here, she says. And the look in her eyes suggests that she's often felt that nothing makes sense. With each passing year, a transmogrifying world dribbles through her fingers. New shapes are non-shapes, and it's about to get worse. If Rosalind, then, pigs fly. Processing. The ladies' room walls become transparent beneath a mighty wind, but there is no diner on the other side of their new glass. A terrible oinking fills the air, as if the restroom has fallen through a pigpen tornado. Tusked boars spread hairy brown wings, and prehistoric hell pigs scream thunder across distant skies. Slender pink piglets squeal with delight, while the largest hogs peer through the walls, wearing Kerry's now confused expression. "Am I drugged?" she asks. Only she would know, but she stares at Rosalind anyway, and presses into the stall, partly blocking the ceiling lights. "You drugged me somehow, admit it." Rosalind shrinks beneath that shadow, same as she did in the last two encounters. It doesn't matter that she's tall. People like Kerry always keep a shrink ray in their voices. Rosalind would become a bug soon, and wouldn't that be easier? Scuttle away, cancel the date, head home? She would save herself this discomfort and any further embarrassment, at least until encounter number 4. Still, escape has to be less effort than upending the universe. From the outside, she supposes that's true, but inside, she would know herself as the girl who kept running away. Encounter number 3 would grow into an eventual encounter number 10, and then 30, on, unless someone makes it stop. Rosalind could be that someone. She slams an unseen enter key. If Rosalind, then. Hell freezes over. Processing. The tile floor thins until it's as transparent as the walls. Ancient depths open below the ladies' room, where 10,000 demons cry out in pain at the first nips of Jack Frost's icy teeth. Kerry crumples to the floor, her hands splayed as if she's about to fall through the glassy tiles. "You're doing this," she cries. "Make it stop." Rosalind can't be sure it will ever stop. Even if she somehow saves her dignity today, the universe offers no guarantee that there won't be an encounter number 4, 10, 30, which won't hold the magic of the number 3. She's exhausted over just this many encounters. Why not let the universe upend? That basic computing junior elective might be good for something if it creates a reality where such encounters never happen. There was a faith in that little choice, a magic that said electives might be worthwhile someday. "You chose this mess tonight," Rosalind says. "You declared the if-then. How weird do you want it?" "Not weird at all," Kerry says. She's trying to stand, but vertigo has made her dizzy, and demonic sneezes from below have disoriented her senses. "I just want things to go back to the way they were." She isn't just talking about the ladies' room this evening. She means a time further back, before she knew about women like Rosalind, when ignorance was her thorny bliss. Rosalind feels dizzy too, but she manages to stand in the stall doorway. "You know what I wanted?" she asks. "To be left alone. Now we have to live with a universe that can't make sense because that absolute you wanted doesn't exist. The universe can't function in true absolutes. There's usually a quirk in the code, and rarely a debugger around when you need one. So pigs fly, hell freezes over, and deep down through it all, I just hope that there are toilets in this new universe you've caused, because I don't know about you, but I still have to go." The cacophony of soaring pigs and sniffling demons shrinks to a whisper. Reality readies for another shift, this time outside of Rosalind's control. She's too exhausted and uncomfortable to guide it. Fine then, let it twist away from a universe where encounter number infinity is possible. Erase toilet, recode restrooms. She shoves the unseen keyboard out of the stall. The ceiling thins, about to reveal some new impossibility. Rosalind glances away. Whatever is about to happen isn't her problem anymore. If Rosalind, then. Kerry flails her arms and happens to strike a key on the unseen keyboard. Fine, it's normal, she cries. I don't care anymore. You're normal, it's normal, everything's normal. Just make it stop, okay? Okay? The ceiling thickens into fluorescent lights. Sturdy walls replace pig-filled windows, and the floor solidifies, hiding the abyss where returning warmth cures demons of an unseasonal winter. The ladies' room looks like itself again. Rosalind quakes inside, but she keeps her feet. Well, thanks, she says, her tone softening. It's a little weird to come up to a girl in the restroom and say that, but I appreciate your support. Kerry gapes at the open stall. Her crocodile tears give way to the real thing, at once relieved to have her universe back and astonished that it could return as easily as it twisted. She doesn't look like she understands the power of the number 3, or elective high school courses, or why her absolutes won't work. Maybe someday she will. Elsewhere, the universe thins again. In another restroom, another girl has been thrust into encounter number X on her personal tally. She taps into memories of basic computing, or intro to literature, or art history. Whichever half-forgotten elective class will help her guide basic social decency into the ladies' room before it becomes an emergency. Rosalind hopes that with enough upending, the universe will call it quits on encounters altogether. Someday. Now, if you don't mind, Rosalind presses the stall door shut. Privacy, please.
I am both sad and angry that stories like this one are so in need of being shared. Cast of Wonders, as a market for short fiction and as a team of individuals, are strongly supportive of our trans friends, colleagues, audience, authors and narrators. This year has not been a kind one for them, certainly not here in the UK, where they face significant prejudice from the press on social media and in society in general. Fear and intolerance can so easily be fuelled, enacting a heavy price. There is no reason why simple kindness should be in such short supply, even if from some acceptance is too much to ask. And yet, here we are. In science fiction and fantasy, as reader or as writer, we have unparalleled freedom to explore the immensity of our universe and ourselves. There is so much wonder to discover and share. Fiction also gives us opportunities to be represented and recognised for who we truly are. We can take on new challenges, express the full strength of our imagination, fight battles in different ways, and turn those moments of everyday oppression into triumph. Or, if not triumph, perhaps just a much-needed chance to help us process those moments, survive them, and seek hope for a better future. After all of us have it in us to reprogram our reality just in how we choose to treat each other. Let's make it a kinder one. Join us again soon. We love bringing you the best audio fiction week after week, but we can't do it without your support. Your donations pay our authors, our narrators, our servers and our staff. Please consider supporting us with a monthly donation through either PayPal or Patreon. You can also review us on Apple Podcasts, request us on Spotify, and consider the stories we publish for award consideration. There are lots of ways you can help. Join the discussion on the EA Forum, forum.escapeartists.net, or the EA Discord. Visit us on Twitter at Cast of Wonders. Come say hello. Cast of Wonders is a production of Escape Artists Incorporated and is brought to you by editor Catherine Inskip, assistant editors Andrew K. Ho and Carissa Sluss, editorial assistant Amy Brennan, associate editors Amy Brennan, Alicia Caparasso, William Haight Minor, Umera Hussain, Sean Proctor, Ray O, Susie Rodriguez, Emma Smales and Denise Sudell. Our art director is Alexis Goebel, our community manager is Denise Sudell, and our audio producer is Jeremy Carter. Our episodes are released under the Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 International License. That means you can download or listen to the episode on any device you like, but you can't change it or sell it. Our theme music, Appeal to Heavens, is by Alexei Nov and available from Promo DJ or his Facebook page. Thank you for listening.